Good morning, all. We will proceed with the class. Today, we'll discuss about the collection of data. That's in your Unit 2, Subunit 2nd. So, in this, we are going to discuss about how to collect data, modalities of collecting data, and how you can design or you can collect and enter data in a systematic way by looking into the pros and cons of data collection. In this, as in geography, we are concerned or we use a variety of data. You think of any aspect, we can collect data, whether it is qualitative or quantitative data, as we discussed earlier. So in this, we have like topography, atmospheric conditions data, extreme events, the climate data, weather phenomenon, weather data, flora, fauna, then agriculture, transport, health, medical, social, demographic, political, education, industrial, cultural, economic, urban, settlement, whatnot. You pick up any aspect, we can collect some sort of data to use in understanding the geographical scenario of that particular area or in a time frame. So while collecting data, we must take note of the data types. This is on the basis of how we collect data. So one is the primary data and the second one is the secondary data. In our research or geographic understanding, data play a very vital role. Okay, it can be fast-end data, as you had gone to the Sikkim and you collected data by yourself by using the questionnaire. So that means you are collecting by yourself and for the first time. So it is termed as a primary data. So you are not using something via media or hierarchy of collection of data. It means you are going for a survey, or you have collected data through observations, or you have done some experiments in your lab also. Then you have prepared a questionnaire and you have gone to the field to collect it. Then you can also include the personal interviews as in the schedule. That's all. These are primary data. Then the other mode of data collection is the secondary. That means you are collecting it from an already existing data. That means someone has already collected it and you are using that same source data. You are not collecting, basically you are gathering from different sources, making collection of data which have been generated by others. Say like government publications, websites where data is given, compiled data is given, books where some old or some data for 10-15 years back or last year, whatever the data sets are available, journals, that means people collect data and analyze and publish it, you can have that also. Then internal records of say you are going to some archive and you are getting data, or going to government department, you are getting data. So those are all internal records and are taken as secondary data. So steps in the data collection basically determine what information is required to be collected. So you are not going to collect all sorts of data. That means as per your objectives you will collect data. Whatever your objectives, you must concentrate on this. Otherwise multitudes of data available, so it is not possible to complete a vast amount of data because time frame and other things are there. So determine what sort of information you want to justify your work or fulfill the objectives. Then set a time frame for the data collection. Theoretically you can go for data collection year round, throughout the year, but climate conditions, then local festivals or those conditions, or even your research work time frame. Suppose for your master degree you have hardly 3-4 months to complete it. So you will be dedicating 10-15 days for the data collection, as we did in Sikkim. Then if you are going for MPhils, you have 6 months to 8 months time to data collection. For PhD, you can continue with the data collection for the 2-3 years. That's depend upon the time frame you have for your course or research, or even the seasonality. Determine data collection method, how you are going to collect data, whether you are going for the primary data collection to the field, or you using somebody else, or you are preparing a questionnaire, or you are going for the schedule, or you are asking over phone, or you are sending through internet, as we discussed earlier. So you can select how you are going to collect data. Then you can go for a pilot survey. Whatever question you prepare may not be exhaustive, may not be fulfilling all your objectives. After you go for the pilot survey, you come with certain amount of data, and you try to run your methodologies, that means analytical methods, and if you find there are something lacking, some more variables are needed to be justified, or there are some redundancies, unnecessary, that is means autocorrelations are there. So in that case, your pilot survey will help you to eliminate or add few variables for your research work. Then data quality and reliability test, because if the data quality is not robust, it's not good, then you may not get good result. Reliability, if the questionnaire you are putting, the answers you are getting are not reliable, then whole exercise will be what? A false result you are getting, which is bereft of ground truth. It's not coinciding with the ground realities. So at the end, you will, after looking into all this, you will go for the collection of data. So in this primary data collection, as you see here, this basically describes what you all have done. So we had gone to the field, Sikkim, various parts of the Sikkim. Primary data is often reliable and authentic, because you are collecting by yourself. You are judging also the respondent, whether the respondent is giving you right answer or not. You can judge. There are ways we will discuss. And is authentic because you are there, you are dedicated to your research work, and you are collecting data which is authentic. Then it is collected in real time. Okay, so whatever it is there, you are getting. That means they are not prepared, so you will get the actual data. It will not be something called like fabricated data or concocted data. So those things are involved in other cases, and it is not the old sources. Okay, so suppose you are asking something like what was their income level 10 years back. That is not old data. Basically, you are collecting data about some time framework, but you are collecting now, recent. About the past, so it's okay. It is no, you are going for the household survey, you have done it. You have gone for a market survey. I don't know, I have, when you were busy with your household work, I used to go for the market surveys, survey of the schools, then survey of the hospitals, what I have gone there. Ravangla, when you all were there for the lunch time, I had gone to the nearby hospitals to ask patients. I clicked the photographs for their hospital records, how many people have been treated, all those things I have collected. Then in that school, we stopped there. You were very busy with the household work. I had gone to the school. That school had only 25 students. In the nursery, there were 10. Okay, 18 were present on that day. So anyway, when you are in the field, you are going for variety of data collections. So market survey, survey of schools, hospitals, whatever, if you like, according to your objectives. Collections of soil sample, then water sample, plant or animal, population count, like this. You have seen we had gone for soil moisture, and we had gone for profile analysis, and we had gone to the river in what is that? Okay, in that second day visit, Rohtang, something like that. So we had gone for you know to see the river bed material, river bank erosion, all these things we had gone. So basically we are collecting a variety of data. Data validation. Once you have collected data, so it has to be validated. What you can, the pilot survey helps in this data validation. So data validation is an essential part while collecting information in the field, analyzing data or preparing to present the data. Basically, what is it? It should be representing the true or the ground realities as it is. It's just like a mirror image. It's not altered. So data validation is there. How it is done then? Validated data increases the accuracy of your result, clarity in your interpretations, and it gives about the details what is being expected or what it is being explained. It reduces data redundancies. So you should not go for same data to be collected again and again. That means, so column 5 has one question, and column 7 is also another version of the same question. So this is going to create data redundancies. It's always better to have a metadata. Metadata means data about the data, when it was collected, what is the unit, who collected it, like so many aspects are there in the metadata. You can search and understand a little more. If the data is not accurate from the start, results definitely won't be accurate either. So your result is dependent on the accuracy of the data you have generated. So whether it is valid or not. Say a few instances. Say vague response. Say somebody is saying car loan. I have taken a 500 rupees for the car loan. Okay, if you enter the 500 rupees, it's okay. Even if you put 5 rupees, it's okay. But is it a valid data? No, nobody is going to go for a car loan for 500 rupees. Okay. Then out of range data. Then how is it? So age 25. Year in service is equal to 20. You enter both the things. It's okay. You can go on analyzing it. But is it valid? So somebody is 25 years data and year of service is 20. That means he joined the service at age of 5, which is not true. So you have to be careful about data. Then mismatch of question and answer data columns. Suppose age at marriage. In the column that you have put 15. It seems to be possible. Yes. So 15, 16, 18, whether it is below legal age or above legal age, but marriage has taken place. It's okay. But actually it is for the year of education. So you have been slightly inattentive or missed the column. So in that the education of that person is entered as for the education of 15 years, that is bachelor's degree, it is entered in the age of marriage column. Might not be married. So this sort of mismatch in the question and answer entry data columns, so there can be a problem. Then blank space. Blank space creates a lot of problem. Why? You never know what actually it means, because nothing has been indicated, whether it means 0 or not interested in giving data or not available type of data. So you never know what is the possible answer. So always fill the blank space with appropriate, you can say, right comments also. Then next one is the applying data validations to the cells. While you are tabulating the data, check for the discrepancies. Okay. Suppose you are saying, loss or profit from any entrepreneurship shop. So loss means you can write as minus 10,000 rupees. But if you are going for the age, it cannot be minus. Okay, so in some cases minus or the negative symbol is allowed, some cases negative symbol is not allowed. Then units. Okay, so units has to be same. So like in one case, this daily income was converted into annual income, but it is not true. So you have to, sometimes you can take the help of auto calculations. So MS Office, this Excel gives a lot of examples how to handle the self-validation data, self-validations. Then the data reliability. Data reliability is actually a big issue. Until unless your data is reliable, your answers will not be reliable. So it doesn't reflect the ground reality. If the responses are consistent, then data will be considered reliable. That means there are ways to test it also. You can use your knack to find out whether the respondent is giving you reliable answers or not. Sometimes cross questions are set not TWO, to test reliability of replies given by the respondent. Okay. Sometimes logic switches are used to test. Okay. So if you say what is the age of your kid, we're saying 5, and in which class he is, then if he's saying it's 2, then there is some mismatch. Okay. Then there is like checksum is used to test. Checksum means, say his income from agriculture is this much, say 10,000, and from the shops it is 20,000, and he is saying his income is 50,000. That means 10,000 plus 20,000 is 30,000, but he is saying 50,000. That means there is a mismatch. Or saying is his age. Okay, then what is your schooling? Say BA. BA means 5 plus 15, so 20 years gone, and he is saying he is serving after BA for another 20 years. Then what should be the age? 5 plus 15 plus 20, so it is 40. If he is saying he is 35 or 50, then there is a mismatch. So you can use the checksum to test whether the data is reliable or not. Same question is asked after reparaphrasing. That means you have to paraphrase the same question after some time for the back questions. So you can see check. So whether the immunization has been done for your kid or not. After some time, did you take your child for measles or that sort of vaccination? If there is a mismatch, then there is a problem and reliability of the data is not there. So likewise, you can rephrase and ask the same. That means ask the same questions after some time. You should get the right answer. Then calibration of instruments. Okay, so you had seen earlier that when we are going for the soil pH, we calibrated the pH meter. Okay, so we used for the 4.5 and 7.5 solutions. Else what will happen? There will be one systematic error. We'll discuss that later on. Systematic error will be there. So calibration of instruments must be there. Or say measuring the cross section of channel. Your measuring tape is shorter by 1 meter. Then every time the recording is done, say 20 meter, 150 meter. So that means 1 meter is missing. So actually you have to adjust it. So calibration or taking care of the zero start is important. Then narrow time window for data collection. Okay, else external conditions may affect the data quality. What does it mean? Suppose you are going for the primary data collection. What will happen? If you complete your data collection in a shorter time duration, then the data will become similar. Say you collected data about the loss of property or loss in the business, and you have taken 1 year 2 year data, collected data at 1 year gap. Then within that 1 year, suppose there is some calamity, then there will be loss, more loss to the business. So likewise you should try to collect data in a narrow time window so that external conditions doesn't affect the data quality. Then another one is the big data and data collection. Big data describes basically voluminous data, that's structured, semi-structured or unstructured data collected by the organizations. So like 30-40 people, hundreds of people are going for data collection. So big data is just like your census, when they go data collect for the throughout India, that's a big data. So likewise you can see how it is being done. It takes a lot of time and money. Then to gather and then to mine big data for information, raw data with extended metadata is aggregated in a data lake. So you can think of all those things and read little by little progressively to understand what is a big data. And I have given you the example of the census, okay, or sometimes even NHFS, NFHS, National Family and Health Survey. We'll see what are those. Then data mining process is there also. You can go through little, or when you will come into the MPhil program, we'll see all those things. We'll discuss about all those things. Then the secondary data. It is used beforehand to understand the insights of the research problem. What we say, go for the literature review, not simply text, but also you should go to the data. Say total population, proportion of population, some particular segment, whether it is feasible for you to work on it or not. So 10 years data, 50 years data, you should think of that, whether a 10-year data will be appropriate or not, or 5-year data is appropriate for you, like that. It helps in associating and comparing the generally smaller area primary data with a broad national or international scenario. Why it is important? Because when you are going for the primary data, or you are working on small theme, on a theme like, say you have taken Sikkim now, then what is the Sikkim status in terms of literacy, in terms of income from agriculture, with we are comparing with the northeast scenario, in the northeast India states. Then you can think of what is its comparability with the national level or agriculturally developed like Punjab. So there are opportunities and ways to compare. Then availability of secondary data is sometimes difficult due to security or privacy reasons. So security reasons, say like airport data or military zone data, or there are, you cannot even get topo sheets of northeast India. Now you get open source that is without contours. So that sort of security and privacy reasons, you cannot ask it at each and everything to a family. There are certain questions which are private, but even the researches are done on those issues, but very sensitive. So more psychological understanding is required, convincing power is required to go for that. Then accuracy of data cannot be guaranteed, because you are using somebody else's data. You never know how it was collected, what are the constraints or the limitations of the data collection. Then secondary data cannot be deconstructed to original or unitary data. Say why we call census data as a secondary data? Because it is what? Condensed into village level. You are getting village level. You are not getting household level, every person's data there. Suppose income, you will get average income for the village or a household, but you never know each individual's income. So that is the difference between the primary and secondary data. Then if you see, we discussed there are so many sources of data. We discussed in your last to last class. You have Gazetteer, then District Gazetteer, Census Handbook, NSSO Data, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementations, then Government of India Data Portal, then District Report for the Minority Affairs, then NFHS Data, then Agricultural Production Marketing, then state websites also give a lot of data. Then Bhuvan is used for a lot of spatial data. Then Sodhganga thesis that gives you the secondary condensed data. Many people have worked on the primary data and they are presenting their work. So Sodhganga is one source. Then the research publications like journals of geographical studies, geographical sciences. Then you have our hill geographer here. Then NEIGS. Lot of publications are there. From that you will get data. That's in the condensed form, secondary. Then you have water resources, WRIS, Water Resource Information System, and it is not limited to this much what we mentioned here. It's unlimited. Many data sources are available. Data available from different websites or different sources. So data collections is not free from certain problems. There are problems in the data collection and handling it, and when you find there are errors or problems, you must correct it immediately, or your whole database will be invalid, or it will be full of errors. One is the systematic error. How it is? Which you said, systematic errors means the error is being repeated or always added to the valid data. So as you said, if your measuring tape is short from the beginning end, it starts with 2 meter, then if you are measuring it 100 meter, then actually it is 98 meter. So that means always you have a error of 2 meters. Just like in the shooting range, you must have seen somebody, good shooter is firing bullets, and all are clustered in the third ring at some point. That means he is aiming at the center bullseye, but it is fired at another circle ring third in a clustered manner. That means there is some problem with the gun itself. So that's like systematic error. There is a problem with the instruments. Violation of protocols. So you must read. There are so many protocols, you have to follow them, otherwise legal issues will come up. Fraud or scientific misconduct. So there are many cases where scientific misconduct has led to a lot of legal issues, problems. And what are those? Basically to prove something which is not there. So in that case it is a fraud. Errors in individual data items. That means there is a casual attitude in data collection. So there is no consistency in the data. So there are individual staff or site performance problems. So individual staff, somebody is not taking the data collection in a serious manner, so giving false informations. Sometimes it is okay, reliable, sometimes it is not. So predictability of the error is problematic. So when you see there is problem, either you rectify it immediately or change the stuff, or engage somebody else. Site performance problems. So in Meghalaya there is rainfall almost every day, but still the Met station is recording is fine. But if the same thing happens, the heavy rainfall occurs in some other place, then the person may not go to collect data in time, because it's raining, it's not a regular phenomenon. So in that case, site performance, climate conditions, hazards, many issues are there where the researcher has to be prompt to rectify those errors. Otherwise there will be a difficulty in getting valid